Hello, I am GiBi and welcome to the Horror Homestead. A few days ago, T-Dreads and I were streaming, as you do, and we stumbled on this mention on an insane FNAF iceberg, about how there's recreations of locations from FNAF Help Wanted in the Pizzaplex. Curse of Dreadbear Room in Security Breach. Is this a thing?
There's nothing in the static. It's just static. Yeah, but it's just a bunch of trees. With
like being out, like mimicking being outside.
So Help Wanted's a VR game, right?
Yes.
But there's a couple areas in the Pizzaplex that are in FNAF VR.
So like at the end of Curse of Dreadbear, we see the Pizzaplex being constructed. They're Fate Fiona-ing it. They're Fate Fiona-ing it. She's echoing these VR game things into the real world for some reason. We found a video from Impulse737 where he explores these locations, and we reacted to him live. What?
How has no big theorist brought
Why?
this up? I just screen capped this from Impulse7. Impulse7 brought this up years ago. The video has 1,000 views only.
Evan would go on to join the call later, along with Unwithered Truth, Phasma Entertainment, and Withered Circle.
And this is where you get the ending. I think it's the van ending, this one.
These locations are important with the hindsight of Secret of the Mimic. We know that when Security Breach was being made, Scott told Steelwool to add little things to the game that he thought players would be able to piece together.
I had a very specific story in mind, and it is very different than the one that got in the game. I was trying to tell Steelwool to do specific things throughout the game, put specific items in specific places.
So we have these rooms in the Pizzaplex that are recreations of rooms from the VR game Help Wanted, which is an in-universe VR game created before the Pizzaplex was built. At the end of Curse of Dreadbear, you can see the Pizzaplex being built in the background. These locations were planned to be physically constructed within the building based on a video game level. The locations are Build-A-Mangle, the Mangle Vent Repair, the Foxy Repair Room, the Plush Baby Room, and the Curse of Dreadbear menu.
Oh, Build-A-Mangle. Oh, this is directly from... How has nobody mentioned this?
I've never heard any of this before.
How have I never seen this? Why are these in a real place? Right? Because listen. Pizzaplex gets constructed after the VR game.
After Dreadbear,
so
yes.
the only option is that the storyteller program, or the equivalent,
The Fate Fiona,
has to be using that as like a building plan. Like it makes these rooms,
yes,
because it's the Fiona, let's say, because she's she's the game's version of the storyteller.
The Build-A-Mangle room has this TV displaying static in the corner, but when Impulse Evan played it, it displayed an injured Helpy. We don't know why this popped up for him, but not us, so it must be a rare Easter egg.
Why isn't he there? So is it a chance spawn? Is it Easter egg?
That would be crazy, that Evan just happened to get it.
Because for him, it showed up after he got that plush.
Yeah, like that scream was just a dying Helpy. A theory a lot of people have at the moment is that the Glamrock endos are based on the Mimic's schematics, as they were in the Tales from the Pizzaplex novels. Regardless of which ending of Secret of the Mimic is canon, that still means that the Mimic-ness is within the Glamrocks and likely the staff bots. The observation of the recreation of these rooms led me and T-Dreads to conclude the same thing. Yeah,
And so she has this input. She has this input of, oh, look at all these locations from Fazbear, and makes them real?
These video game levels are being mimicked by the builders of the Pizzaplex. T-Dreads and I believe in competing theories about what Secret of the Mimic means for the present-day FNAF timeline. He believes in God David. I'll leave a link to his God David video below. And I believe in Fate Fiona. Basically, in both cases, characters in the present day have motivations to recreate things from Fazbear's past. Fate Fiona would say that the Help Wanted video game was built by scanning data from Mimic-infected devices that are connected to F10N4. The Pizzaplex would then have been built under the influence of F10N4, given that she's physically underneath the building and connected to every single piece of technology within the building. These black wires that appear all over the Pizzaplex are tied to Fiona.
So many!
I mean, there's so many in this next room. Yeah, that's just crazy, right? They appear in Secret of the Mimic coming out of her, and in Ruin in the digital world, which I think depicts how Fiona is able to be connected to everything, even things that aren't physically plugged into her.
So these are just like... This to me is very clearly screaming like Fiona wires of... Like, look at it. They don't even exist. But they're still digital wires that are white and black in the digital world.
Yeah, I genuinely think that she's connected to every single piece of technology. From animatronics to computer terminals to arcade machines to the staff bots, Fiona controls all. Fiona has influence over all, and thus would have influence over whatever bots built these rooms.
Despite believing God, David, I also believe that Fiona is attached to everything the Pizzaplex.
Yeah, basically just the storyteller, but it's Fiona.
And she's got she has a bunch of tree imagery as well.
Yep.
No, I bet you they just have staff bots building this shit. I bet Fiona's just hooked up into the Matrix, and all the staff bots are downloading her weird mind waves, and she's like, build all this I've seen, baby.
Yeah,
and it's happening.
It's like they're compelled to rebuild what they remember, and like Help Wanted's what they remember, FNAF 5's what they remember. These wires, for gameplay reasons, act as the path for the player to follow to find these secret recreation rooms. If you follow the Fiona Wires of Doom, as T-Dreads calls them, you reach these specific secret areas.
Oh, yeah.
That's so many Fiona Wires of Doom.
Fiona Wires of Doom! I think F10N4, whatever AI that is, I think it is still in play, and I think it is running the Pizzaplex. If you look around the Pizzaplex, in random areas, there are a bunch of wires like this, just like unnecessary. What is there in this area to power? 2 lights? There is no need for 90 wires to be coiled through the ceiling, and they're only in specific areas. If I follow these, will they take me to more of the rooms? They do! Oh. They do! That's what they're for!
Wow.
The Fiona wires are supposed to lead you to the recreation rooms.
These are the most Fiona-coded rooms in the entire building based on the wires, and they're rooms that are literally recreations of things from Fazbear's past. On top of all of that, while not all of these rooms have collectibles in them, the ones that do have collectibles that fit a common theme: sun and moon.
In the Dreadbear room, we got a sun collectible. In this one, we got a moon collectible. I want to see if every single Help Wanted room mimic recreation storyteller-ism. If every collectible is sun and moon themed, I think that's important.
FNAF VR.
What if it's like a mangle thing?
Canon? That's so cool.
Oh my god!
It's Wait, pause it.
Video game.
I'm losing it.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Yeah, it's the storyteller. It's Fiona. F10N4 is taking an input. That's 3 in a row. I haven't watched further. I think my prediction was right.
The Fiona Wires of Doom lead to recreations of Help Wanted levels in the physical Pizzaplex containing collectibles of Sun and Moon. Things that, even if people noticed when they played Security Breach for the first time, take on a whole new meaning now after Secret of the Mimic. God David and Fate Fiona are both based on the idea that a force within the Fazbear universe is recreating things. Gregory is a recreation of the Crying Child and or David Murray. Vanessa is Elizabeth, Cassie is Cassidy. The Pizzaplex now has rooms based on the video game. Huge shout out to Fazbear Entertainment for noticing this, but in my Fate Fiona video, I mentioned that Glamrock Bonnie's death in the back room surrounded by 4 Pat-Pats is an echo of Springtrap's death surrounded by ghosts. I did mention that I found this to be a loose connection, a weak piece of evidence, given that there's 5 ghosts in Follow Me and only 4 in Ruin. But Fazent pointed out that in both cases, there are actually 5. In the Springlock scene, the 5th ghost is the player, Cassidy. In Ruin, the 5th onlooker on Glamrock Bonnie's body is the player, Cassie. This went from my weakest piece of evidence for Fate Fiona to probably my strongest, that a supernatural force is remaking things from Fazbear's past. That Cassie is an echo of Cassidy, the way that Gregory is of the Crying Child and or David Murray. And now that we've found these rooms, remaking things from Help Wanted for seemingly no in-universe reason, these are not attractions in the Pizzaplex. And they're filled with depictions of Sun and Moon. Just adds more evidence, more assuredness for me, onto the pile that Fate Fiona and possibly God David are true. Sun and Moon and Eclipse likely symbolize some version of the Murray family. I think Moon.exe shows that Sun, Moon, and Eclipse are aspects of the M2 digital personality recreation of David. Sun represents the bits of Fiona in him, and moon represent the bits of Edwin in him, making Eclipse the David persona. So having exclusively Sun and Moon prizes inside of these recreations connect these rooms to the Murrays. The Mangle Vent Repair Room has previously been theorized to be evidence that the sister location elevator leads from the FNAF 2 location down to the sister location bunker. Basically in Help Wanted, the room where you repair Mangle and Ennard starts in a back room with a bunch of toy animatronics around. The idea is that this is the sister location elevator, which creates evidence that the FNAF 2 building and the sister location building might be one and the same. I was curious if, in Security Breach, if you go to the recreation of this room and you fly upward through the ceiling, if it leads to something on the Security Breach map that could help us tie it in to it being the Circus Baby or FNAF 2 location. But this room is one of the few places in the game that, despite being on the basement level, is not directly below anything on the main level. If you fly through the ceiling, you end up in the void. There's nothing above it that's actually part of the game map. If we fly straight up, what's there? Gregory.
I just see Gregory floating.
Bye. Where's this? Like we're out of bounds?
It's near the moon. It's near the daycare.
Okay, but there's nothing actually above it. You could go up and down forever and there's nothing there? Interesting. This made me want to test this observation on the recreation of Michael Afton's living room. Previously, I've said that it might literally be the Aftons' living room. If the Pizzaplex was built over the old Murray's Costume Manor, and if Edwin's house on the hill became the Aftons' house from the FNAF 4 title screen, that might mean that the Aftons' house is literally within the Pizzaplex, and so this might just be the Aftons' living room. But if you enter into that room and then fly up through the ceiling, you end up in a location that cannot possibly be the Afton house. Basically, it would be somewhere around here in the Secret of the Mimic building. So the idea that this is literally the Aftons' living room is debunked. It's just a recreation, the same way that everything else here is just a recreation. But what does line up is the Sticky Note room. The Sticky Note room and Afton Statbot room in Security Breach is very, very weird, and people noted that it's shaped kind of like a silo. In Secret of the Mimic, the long roller coaster ride from the Costume Manor to Edwin's house passes through a silo that people immediately connected to the Sticky Note room. And if you line up the maps, they roughly fall in the same location. Same silo. So our exploration of the Pizzaplex has made my beliefs stronger in a few things. Murray's Costume Manor and Edwin's house become the sister location bunker, FNAF 6, and the Pizzaplex. And the memories of some supernatural force mixed with technology is causing events from the past to echo into the future, recreating virtual levels and real history into the present day. Fazburger and Fate Fiona have never looked more possible than they do right now. Thank you T-Dreads, Unwithered Truth, Withered Circle, Impulse 737, and Fazbear Entertainment for being part of my 7-hour live stream. And I hope you, the viewer, tune in the next time we start talking about this insane iceberg, because maybe you too will be present when we uncover peak new information that solves the FNAF timeline. Remember to be nice to each other in the comments, consider supporting the creators you admire, never lose sight of the things that are important to you, and remember that Freddy's stands for Friendly, Respectful Engagement, Discussion, and Discourse Yield Success.